Hello, is anyone there? This is Grimm Grinner, on all channels.
Infected attacks rampant in the GAT. The government failed. Unified in the corporation.
Have a safe day.
Desolation. An endless wasteland.
Nothing but static.
Searching for a shred of hope.
Welcome to the Wastes.
Good morning, Gat and my wastes. If everything is working correctly, then I should be transmitting on all channels, outside the walls, and even a few harder to trace ones inside. This is Grimm Grinner, voice of the static with pirate radio. I know it's been a while since you all heard my voice, Wasteland, and for that I'm sorry. I've had to keep my cover these past few months, and with good reason. A few months back, I was able to decode a message transmitted out that was interrupting all the transmissions, including my own. With some help from some friends, I was able to determine that it came from behind the walls of the GAT. So, with only a few out there being able to be in the know, I hatched a plan and a cover and managed to get myself in here, behind enemy lines, as they say. It's been a difficult few months being away from the airwaves, but with the various parts of my plan clicking into place, I've hit a point where I can take the risk to broadcast from the makeshift supplies I've cobbled together here. Of course, that plan is still very much something I have to keep close to the chest, but it's going to keep me in here for the time being still. I haven't managed to track down the initial source of the interruptions, but I have made a couple new allies here inside the walls, including a rogue creep that goes by the nickname Birdie. Still haven't asked how that name came about, but they've been really helpful with getting me around the different areas they have access to, including getting some supplies for me to make my own little journeys around in here. Life inside the GAT has definitely been jarring for me, since it both feels like out in the wastes, but also like they're trying to pretend the fall never happened. Some of the districts have newer tech that even I can't wrap my head around, while others are barely getting by with scraps and whatever they can patch together to keep things running. I know the Curring district is almost as dangerous as the Rift, since that's where they run all the power from, using some old rad plants to generate all the energy they could ever need. I haven't risked getting further in, like anywhere near the tower or the Creep district, since I'm fairly certain I'd have a better chance at hiding in a feral swarm. For now, I've been holed up in the ruins of an old building somewhere in the Shawa district. I've been trying to talk to some of the Shawa rats, since they do surprisingly still have some members kicking around in here after their brief romp in the wastes. Obviously, they don't trust me, which I guess is fair, all things considered. Bounty on their heads outside of here still stands as far as I can remember, but even offering to clear that hasn't helped me garner much in the way of trust to get their help. I'm also lucky I came in here knowing that the coffee is not to be trifled with, since they have daily alerts to have a cup. The less cared for areas are dealing with a weaker dose, since they're more battered down and less likely to revolt in the corporation's eyes, but it doesn't make it any less of a risk. Word has it the brews further in almost have a sort of hypnotic effect, and are really good at creating compliant little drones that are actually happy to be trapped behind the walls, ignoring the shitstorm the corporations are stirring up out in the wastes. Meanwhile, the rest of the people here are a workforce that barely gets any of the benefits they promise. It's despicable, and it truly makes me yearn to be back out in the dust. But I have things to do. Broadcasts to find the source of, and reports to get my hands on. That is right, Wasteland. I'm not just here to find the source of one radio transmission that's going on about dangers behind the walls. I knew about those already. I'm also here to try and find some sort of information on what sort of stuff the corporations have been up to, especially in regards to Farah and the static raids. I know they either have something to do with this change, or at least, at the bare minimum, have some sort of information on it that could help us. Unfortunately, though, even the access that Birdie has been able to get me, combined with some of the security codes Farah and Trace were able to provide, hasn't been able to get me any closer to any of that. For now, I'm simply trying to learn what I can and sort out one mystery at a time. I've also got a message for any allies out in the waste that are picking up this signal. I know I went radio silent very abruptly and swore just a handful of people to secrecy, but I am safe, and you can call off any searches that may still be going. I know you all know that I wouldn't go down without a fight, and my usual haunts are probably collecting some degree of dust. But I am here, and I will be back out there when I can make my escape. It's been beyond hard to keep myself from transmitting and keeping you all up to date, and I hope the waste hasn't changed too much without me screaming over the static. But as much as I want to be the rebel of the wasteland with you, I can't stand by and let whatever the corporations are doing in here continue. I don't see me taking them down completely, but if I can put a wrench in any of their plans, I need to take that chance for all of us. There is always something worth fighting for, and I'm fighting for what we have out there. This time I just need to do it from inside here. I'm hoping that with the signals being jammed that I can transmit out on occasion, but I need to be more cautious than when I'm out in the wastes or in the comfort of the bunker. If the corporations catch on that I've got this going, I don't know what could happen. With any luck, though, I'm going to be back on all channels before you know it. So, this has been Grimm Grinner, broadcasting on pirate radio from behind the walls. See you in the wastes. One day.
Welcome to the Wastes is a Voice in the Static production, written, starring, and produced by Edward Grimm Grinner Hutchinson. You can find Welcome to the Wastes on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and other social media sites, and there's a merch store through Etsy. Links are in the episode description. Welcome to the Wastes is also made possible with the love and support of listeners and wastelanders like you. If you want to help support the show on Patreon, that link will also be in the description, alongside the list of monthly supporters. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the Wastes.